I like it now. You built it. You want us in it? We'll be in it.
All right, we'll go with it. We'll go with it. But this is the brilliant thing about this. It's collapsible.
Is this by any chance a budget thing? I know it was, because they said to us when, are you coming on? They said, yeah. They said, oh, yeah, we'd like to, because you know you've got, like, a big budget.
It was just like
we haven't, so this is it.
It was a welcome back to the BBC, to be honest.
Thank you very much.
You know?
We've ruined
nice to see you.
It's a very funny joke, though, in case anybody didn't get it.
Oh, don't be like that. Now, your new show, The Grand Tour...
Should we stay in this now?
Well, if you want to.
Are
you comfortable? Just stay in it now.
It looks good, to be honest.
It does.
OK, we'll stay with it.
Well, you're here because of your new show, The Grand Tour, and it's all top secret because your employers want to sell their subscriptions. But we do have an exclusive. We do have an exclusive sequence to show you all later.
Listen, boys, we should rubbish it, right? Because we know that the BBC have a rival car show, but it's really difficult because it's good, which is annoying.
Very annoying.
Thank you.
Annoying.
A Team Rickshaw also burning rubber too.
Well, Andy and I are sending you this message.
Hey, I'm middle-aged
We're all
as well.
middle-aged.
When is middle-aged? Define middle-aged first of all.
You're not middle-aged.
Have you made any bad investments? Not about pensions, but have you made any seriously, like, thrown loads of cash at something and it's
James obviously has made a...
Yeah, I've made quite a few bad investments. Unfortunately, none of it was very expensive, so... no, not really.
I've never made a good investment. I keep all of my money in a sack in the shed, all of it.
What about being cold called?
Well, I can't be cold because I'm not going to go to the shed and get the money out of the sack, am I?
No, I mean, like, have you had a call, someone saying, look, we can give you an investment or invest in us?
Not that I know of.
I've had a lot of those.
Have you?
What I've had recently that keeps coming up a lot is a company, and at times they've rung me 3 times a day where they've said, oh, we've rung you about the accident you've had in your car.
Oh, yes.
And they've got the registration number right, but there's a few mistakes, like it's a car I don't own anymore, and I haven't had an accident.
Well, just hang up there.
That's what I do.
When you've got that many cars, the chances are...
How many have I got?
I imagine quite a few, don't you?
It's an assumption. That's a gross assumption.
I'm sorry.
So far they've said we've got loads of cars, we're old, we've got money burning a hole in our pocket.
Welcome back.
Listen, let's talk about...
You made us go in your cardboard car. To the BBC. Dance, Muppets, dance!
Let's talk about the new series, We'll move it on. Grand Tour. Started on Friday. Now, apparently, it's very, very different to the show that you used to be on.
Interesting. I hadn't really thought of it, but now you've mentioned it, you're right, it is completely different.
Completely. I mean, can you see what I mean?
But you do have a big tent.
Sorry? No, it's sitting like this.
I knew that was going to go there.
Come on. Yes, we do have a massive tent, I know.
And it travels, which is a new... That's
a new thing.
That's sort of what tents
that's
tend
the
to
point.
do.
Yes, of course, but the show travels.
Yeah, and it gave us a unique thing. I mean, had we ever done a show before together, which we never did.
No.
But had we done it, had it been in a single studio, we needed some differences. And this was a way of taking it out to the people that watch. And one of the things about the show that we never did, but if we had done, would have been its global appeal, and it's something that mattered to us. And this was a way of going out and connecting by taking the whole thing to them. So we got back from Germany just now.
Yesterday.
Nashville again at the end of this week, because we're exotic and travel a lot.
And you could say that in the old days, had we had a show, as Hammond says, that the world came to us to watch it, but now we've sort of returned the favour and we've gone to the world.
With it.
How deep was that?
You ran out then.
Well, I tell you what was interesting, because obviously nobody's seen any clips yet, so watching the audience faces was quite telling then. It was positive, by the way. It was good, it was good.
Can we have a shot of the audience faces?
Look, they look at that. Actually, they're ecstatic. Some of them have fainted.
Though,
it was that good.
How nervous were you about getting back as a trio? Did you think the magic would still be there? Are you nervous about Friday?
Oh, well, that's a multiple question.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't nervous about us getting back together because it all seemed horribly familiar.
It's all we can do.
But I'm speaking for myself. I'm very nervous about Friday because.
Are you really?
Well, yeah, because I mean, it's a new show, and any show
it's
you
a big
do is
deal, and also because, you know, in the past we sort of evolved to where we'd got, and that was, had we ever done a show together, that's what it was. This time we've gone out and thought about it. Hopefully people will follow us and find us, and when they do that, we want to reward them.
And
with the
expectation is high.
Yeah,
I mean,
everyone's talking about it.
Yeah,
I know that's high. Really scary, but
and we're burdened with humility.
Yeah, we are naturally humble men.
Yeah, clearly.
What we couldn't do was, you know, we can't radically reinvent ourselves, and people like certain things from us and expect it. We had to deliver that, but we have to refresh it. We had to renew it, reinvigorate it. Hopefully we have, but we won't know until after Friday.
Well, anticipation is high.
And the three of you that you don't have to answer to the BBC complaints department this time round.
There will
Does
still
it make it
be...
easier?
We never did we?
No, not really.
No, you never did. That is true, James.
No, it's one of those adverts with the dusty complaints telephone. No, there'll still be... We still have to get stuff... We still don't want to offend people. We'll have to... We'll ignore it.
I'm fairly confident Amazon will complain if they feel they have to.
Yes.
Yes.
But, James, you were under a lot of pressure to stick with the BBC and Top Gear. Do you think you made the right decision to leave?
Yes.
OK.
Yeah?
Well, in all seriousness,
Yeah,
I mean, in the end, the point I've always... The way I've always explained it is there's... To a certain extent, this is going to sound fantastically sanctimonious, but the three of us had a sort of duty to stick together and do it because that's what people wanted to see.
Yeah.
A lot of people in TV and media forget that their first responsibility is to their viewers and their fans. And it also meant that the other show that we were never on, that we've never heard of, could be properly reinvented, which, to be brutally honest, it probably needed. So...
Plus,
there's two shows.
There's no doubt. I think, look, we've all done... I've worked for the BBC for 27 years, 28 years, on and off. More off at the moment than on, but who knows? We had to look at what else have we done that's ever been massive, that's ever been on anything like the scale of what happens when we work together. We're more than the sum of our parts, and we must remember to include Andy Willman, our producer, in that, who's the worst dressed, worst turned out human being in the world, but a uniquely talented man and very much essential to what we do. So,
but if you're outside that window, you'd buy him a coffee, wouldn't you? Probably.
Yeah, well, you'd put a coin in the hat.
And I do still work for the BBC a bit.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And you know,
how do you think all that got swept before we came in?
People will be calling for Series 2, I'm sure, as soon as it hits people's tellies, stroke computers, whatever, on Friday.
There will be a
Are
Series
you going to
2.
stick with the other guy? You sticking? You
He
sticking?
who shall not be named.
I don't think we have the option to fire him.
Right, OK.
Do we?
So you're sticking?
We could arrange an accident. I don't know. There's all sorts of stairs in our office.
No, not particularly.
No. Hey, it looks like it's going well. So when's this on? Because we know it's Friday.
It arrives Friday. Well, Friday, whenever Friday begins, I don't know. That's for Amazon to decide. But it becomes available
You
on
wouldn't have
Friday.
this at the BBC, would you?
Yeah, we'd know what time.
But this really matters to us that we're delivering them on a weekly basis. They become available from that time. So hopefully people will...
You're just drawing this out.
Make their own appointment.
It's Friday.
To get to it on Friday at a particular time for them. But it's available
We leave it vague.
It's not scheduled. It's the modern world. It becomes available.
Yes, we get it. We get it. Thank you both for your company.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for the humiliating car stunt.
All right. Pleasure anytime.
Really good.
You can watch the Grand Tour from Friday on Amazon Prime. Now, Matt and Team Rickshaw are in the middle of their own Grand Tour.